Amazing. Thanks, Keith. Thanks, Sarah, for that introduction. I have some really good news for you, which is if you're trying to, could you hear that music, by the way?
Yeah, that was
We could hear the
awesome.
We
music.
did.
Oh, then let's keep it
Tranquilo. Mas
rocking.
tranquilo
I have
mesmo.
some great news for you where if you're trying to become like more popular on LinkedIn or you're trying to figure out how do I get more reactions, the really good news is you don't need to figure that out. It's all been done for you. Not by me, not by Howden, but by this method we're going to show you here that is super ethically fun. So, when I first started seeing Howden's posts, they were nuts popular. Like, A, look how beautiful this graphic is. He's getting 1,000 reactions on this. I was astonished. I've never seen someone get that many on Power Platform. I can barely get above 300. And once I started seeing this, I was like, oh my God, Howden, you are so talented. How did you learn how to do this? How did you creatively come up with this all by yourself? Howden, what's your secret?
And then I told Sean that I'm a big fraud, and I actually copied this design from someone else who was also included in the post. So it was ethical, but yeah, copied from someone else.
That's it. He just took this, and you can't see it in the screenshot here, but his literal title, this is Roadmap to Certifications in Power Platform. So that's our whole presentation is really, oh, by the way, I took his idea because I thought it was so good, and I just did my own version of it right here. This reaction count for me feels great. I'm good with it. I'm not even really providing that much value or teaching anything here. I'm just promoting myself. To get this reaction count feels great. So our answer for you is ethical stealing. Steal other people's stuff. That's it. Somebody else already solved that problem. You take the same thing and apply it to Power Platform. I've taken this even into the ways people write. For instance, I saw this amazing post of someone who's nowhere near my industry. It's about like HR leadership. And he made this wonderful roadmap that I can't really apply. But I saw this. He's adding all these little red dots, and I was like, that's super cool. And these green dots. Oh, I like that. So I stole it. And then I did the exact same thing, and I added my own little dots, added my own graphic, and then boom, this reaction count right here, I'm very happy with. So in this case, because I'm kind of stealing a writing style, I could credit him for sure, but since he's so far away from like my industry, I don't feel as guilty about it. However, if I took like his graphic, I absolutely would, just like Howden said. So hence the importance of ethical stealing. Now, another question that comes up a lot in posting is, well, how often should you post? Does it really matter to do it regularly? Like, is there any proof if this works?
And that's when I'm going to come in, and I don't have near enough a good setup like Sean, so you can't see me in the corner, but can show you this. So this keeps me going in a lot of what I do in life, not just in LinkedIn, literally in everything when it comes to exercise, when it comes to meditation, when it comes to diet. It's just about consistency, and it sounds a bit boring, but this is genuinely my story. So I've probably posted for about a year now, and you can see starting off at the beginning, very inconsistent, 0 impressions one day, and kind of all the way up from January until about June, July. And it was around this area where I actually peeked in to Mark Smith's 90-day mentoring challenge, which I think a lot of you are familiar with, and I'm a huge advocate for it. Um, and I joined one of the live calls, and we kind of went over something very simple, but I feel like some people need to be reminded more than they're taught. And I feel like that was a case for me. And he spoke about consistency. So that's when I started getting a bit more consistent. And I was like, all right, I'm just going to try and post a few times a week. And you can see a bit of a kind of increase in engagement. It's still kind of low, but you're getting into the thousands, and then it kind of maintains. You can see I dip off a little bit, but then I come back, and then you can see I'm more consistent, more consistent, more consistent, more consistent until it explodes. And then from that point, you've obviously got your peaks, and then you've got your dips, you've got your peaks, and you've got your dips, and that's kind of the story after you kind of hit a certain engagement bracket, I feel like. So yeah, I post every day. And it's been a goal for me, and it will be a goal for me this year. And I think it's important to also say, try your best not to post sucky fluff, but also know that your posts aren't going to be amazing at the beginning of you starting to do them. So kind of find that balance in between, kind of in that scale of completely AI generated to being a perfectionist, which Sean will get into as well. But Sean, do you post every day?
No, I
Okay.
have stuff to do, as many of you do. I hit my limit at 2 times a week.
Are you trying to say I don't have stuff to do, Sean?
Man, that was not rehearsed. I wish I had a comeback that I thought of. I don't. Now I just look not nice.
I'm joking. I love you.
Beautiful. So, it's really hard to compete with Howdang, considering his posts are just absolutely destroying. So, I've noticed some people put in the chat right now, like, I'm only getting a couple reactions. I'm only getting a couple likes. No one's interacting with my stuff. So, that is okay. So on this post right here, I put in a ton of work into this video. I went into this niche topic that's very difficult for me around data factory and doing complex stuff in Dataverse. There's a lesson here though. If you're only getting, I forget what somebody said, like 2 reactions, one is their mom, who your posts are bringing in can be more important than how many reactions. For instance, this got a lower number than some of my other videos. However, the 3 people that did comment on it are absolute killers as solutions architects, and they're the people I want to be networking with. They're the people who I want to see my stuff and do potential collaborations. These 3 individuals commented on it, and they're some of the best architects I know. EY later messaged me actually like 2 days ago, and he literally said, hey, I've seen you post a lot on like solutions architecture. Do you want to team up for a session at the Power Platform Conference? I'm like, yeah, absolutely I do. Chris, similar situation. And I even got really excited because on this post right here that didn't get as much love as I thought, the Nordic Summit even commented on it and said, like, do you want to, you should submit a session for proposal. So here's my point. If you only get 3 reactions, those might be the only 3 people you need. If you just want reactions, go make a bunch of posts about Excel, Power BI, and like kittens. But sometimes the quality of the people who are interacting with your stuff is way more important. Now, regardless of if you're going quality over quantity, and even if you take some of the best ideas off of the internet, there's still the question of what should you be writing in your actual posts? Now, luckily, Howdang has an amazing formula for that.
Yeah, and this is again going by my mantra. I do practice what I preach. So this is stolen from Alex Hormozy. It's the hook, retain, reward framework, and I've been using this for all of my posts. So I will present and we'll go through it. So I've effectively got a post here on the left, and we're going to take the hooks, the retain, the reward from that post, and I'll kind of explain each one. So starting with the hook, when I was building my first Canvas app a few years ago, I was lost. So we need to have something here in the beginning, and Sean will show you how to do that kind of practically, to stop someone scrolling from the while they're looking at social media, because there's just so much out there. So you need to be super elegant in kind of the first few lines that you're actually putting on your post. Then you've got retain. I like to add this one in here. It's not so important, but just something where you're delivering consistent value through a list or a story or pointers, something like that. So here was kind of a story saying that I had to watch Shane Young's video on collection 6 times before I understood how they work. And then kind of my favorite bit is the reward, which in this case is the cheat sheet. And for me, this is the most important part. So it's actually rewarding your audience for consuming your content. Because if you can do this enough, you'll get enough people who are constantly coming back to see your stuff, who are waiting for your stuff in some cases. And I feel like that it is super powerful. So yeah, hook, retain, reward. If you want a framework to create your post, this is for me the best one that's worked. But I think Sean's going to go through why you shouldn't be a perfectionist with every post. So Sean, back to you.
For sure. So this post right here, I worked so hard on. I spent so much time deciding whether I should use the word sabotage or destroy. And I was like, are we doing blue dark or are we doing blue light? And then here I was like, okay, these shades are good. How big of an X should I do here? Should I do circle here or should I do an X here? And then I tried to make this gorgeous. And I thought this was such good advice here. I thought this post would honestly like do really well and crush. But the surprising things I actually noticed when I finally looked at the results was that it did really bad. that means when I actually looked at it, I was like, why is this doing so poorly? And there are multiple reasons. Maybe the people who follow me don't think of me as a recruiter. Maybe the fonts are ugly. There's a million reasons here. But the main mistake I did was not trying. The mistake I did was being a perfectionist. But I learned from this mistake. The thing is, Howden is able to post every single day because he's not falling into the perfectionist problem. So don't do what I did and make overly good stuff. What you can do is fishing. You could throw a little lure into the water and see if people even care about what you're talking about. So in this case, I took a screenshot right here of this, like, Power Pages cost $475 over 200. I spoke with Franco and I'm like, hey, if Power Pages were an internal app, could that work? Him and I messaged about it. I threw this together in like 15 minutes. And this absolutely destroyed in terms of reactions and comments compared to the PDF that I spent hours on. And from this, I changed my strategy. From now on, if you've noticed in my posts, I would post something that's just like kind of quick, explains an idea, and I'm trying to bring value. So if someone reads this, they get something out of it. But the main thing I'm doing is checking to see if people actually care about this. Once I saw, oh, people are responding to Power Pages being cheaper than model-driven apps, we got 83 comments, a bunch of people are arguing about it, it's a lot of fun. So instead of taking this and then like going and making a blog, I was like, let me just make another post. Let's just do the same thing again, but expand on it. And then this one did almost as good as the first one. So that's when I was like, okay, how can I just keep milking this? And now that I'm seeing that there's a lot of attention for it, now I have time to actually put in and make it really, really pretty. So if you see a really nice PDF about this in a week, this is where it came from. I went ahead, made a blog on it. Franco and I have been collaborating on this one, and it's great. And I think this blog is going to do really, really well because I have proof that posts about it have done well. So the main lesson I'm trying to get across here is you could take the same topic, do it one way, do it another way, then go make long form. Like, do not make anything really nice until you actually have proof that people even care about it. So in this format, I took the same topic and did different formats, but like Howden's an absolute like genius of doing the reverse, which is take a bunch of different topics and reuse the same format. Or basically, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, so let's take the roadmaps. I did it once, and then I did another one, 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 and then I did another one. And I think that's it. But you could see the amount of times I did this post, and every single time, I think it got over 100 reactions, which I think is quite good, and it's something I'm very comfortable with. Occasionally, it got 200 plus. Occasionally, it got 500 plus, and on the off times, it got 1,000. So I thought, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
This is so genius. Like, just it's not even like I don't want to say like beat a dead horse because it's not a dead horse, but I don't want to say beat a live horse because like I don't actually eat a lot of meat. So like ride a horse. I'm done with this analogy. I think you get my point. So moving on, this is another approach that Howden called me to. Daniel Amundsen, I think, posts a lot of great stuff. Howden, can you explain here why this methodology works so well?
Yeah, so I think it goes off your point of not being so much of a perfectionist. And by the way, I'm not taking anything away from Daniel's work. I absolutely love it. And I think these tad bits of content are amazing. But I think it also illustrates the point that quick tips can give you insane results. Like all of Daniel's posts get more than 200 reactions, which is amazing because he shows you value in the first 5 seconds of looking at it. Like Power Automate flows are very nice to look at. And because it's so easy to consume, people like that. So I feel like we're constantly getting into a world of shorts and shorter form content, and I feel like Daniel's an excellent example of stuff that works in the Power Platform scene.
For sure, for sure. Now, let's actually go through how simple this can actually be all together, because I think some people like may not believe us. So we all are a bunch of like, Power Platformy people. I got a little grid here. Where did I get this grid? I stole it from some guy who was doing, what is it, the Eisenhower decision-making matrix, something. I was like, oh, we should do a matrix. That'd be fun. So I got pros, I got cons, we got Dataverse here, we got SharePoint here. So let's do a little SharePoint Dataverse rivalry. Now, I think I know some personalities in this group. SharePoint isn't awful. You don't have to hate it. There's a place for it. So let's do a pro of SharePoint. Feel free to write this in the chat or raise your hand if you want to. I'll start off and make it easy. A pro of SharePoint is that it's free. What other ones do people have? Okay, free, fine. I'll put it twice. There we go. Just for Rob Rising. Which one has better performance? Ooh, we got user-friendly. I see Craig threw that in there. All right, we got two. I'll help out on this one. Higher performance is Dataverse. Runs a lot faster. You get a lot less delegation issues. Secure, it depends. Thanks. I think that's karma for me saying it earlier. With existing, depends where existing. Azure Blob, sure. I'll say documents, let's throw it into SharePoint. Like, it's really good at that. With managed metadata, with metadata tagging, it's not. Both are secure. Okay, so we'll put it there. So I will put robust security customizations. Cool. What else we got? That's it. We got both our secure relational database. Cool. Relational model. All right. So we all love Dataverse. What about this? Let's talk about the cons. What are the cons of Dataverse? Expensive. Thank you, Nathan. Yeah, we're just going to keep building this post. Cost is expensive for sure. It falls into the same one. Licensing is confusing for sure. It's expensive. There we go. So we got a few explanations for it. It's expensive. Let's do data capacity. I think Duncan was talking about that earlier. Anything else in here? Steeper learning curve. Love it, Craig. Steeper, harder to learn. Terminology, it's a table, not an entity. Okay, so I'm going to think through how to put that one. It's free in SP twice. Cost should be under Dataverse model for sure. What are the, I'm surprised. I thought there would be more people like hating on SharePoint here, but apparently all love it, which is great because those are my kind of people. I think SharePoint's lovely. What are the cons of SharePoint? Okay. Not relational. It gets really bad when you start doing lookups of lookups. Thank you, Brad, fresh off his Canvas apps on that one. Delegation. Security should be a con, isn't it? I mean, it has security. It's just like less. Yeah, let's put that there. Less flexible security. Don't worry, we're almost done with activity. We're not spending this whole presentation helping me build a LinkedIn post, but that'd be awesome. Limitations on APIs. Rob, do you want to expand on that point? Do you want to come off mute?
Yeah, so you're going to have a lot less throughput and bandwidth on SharePoint than you would on using Dataverse, and then limitations on how many items you can pull through as well. There's ways around it, but they're not exactly easy.
Got it. API limits. Sweet. I think this is a lovely list. Does anybody have anything else? Okay, great. Let's move on. So we have something that's pretty cool. We can do certain things to make it prettier for sure, but remember, we're trying to prove a point about how moving fast works. So here what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to screenshot this right here. And let me get under here. Cool. And then let's hop into ChatGPT here and then be like, I think I had a prompt earlier for this. So what did I write? And we'll see. And don't worry, we're not, by no means am I telling you to use ChatGPT for everything and for just writing your LinkedIn post, because you'll see how, well, you all have seen how robotic it can sound and unideal, but we're just going to use this as a starting point because I want to show you a different tool and something I think about a lot, which is what Howdang said about the hook. And I'll zoom in more to make lives easier here. All right, cool. So we got something that's good enough. We'll work with it. So here, did somebody add something they want to add? Anything? Hamza, you adding anything? Cool. So choosing between Dataverse and SharePoint as a data source, the Power Platform, here's a quick breakdown. So let's put that in here. I like this tool a lot, LinkedIn Text Formatter. So first of all, it helps you do cool little things like you can take aspects and then like highlight them, bold them, and then you can copy that into your actual LinkedIn post. What I like about it is this, it shows me a preview of what it will look like. So a lot of times I see posts that are like this, hey everyone, I've been doing some digging on choosing between Dataverse. And I noticed there are some key. Here's the thing. Right here, as you can notice, I'm starting to run out of space. So if I went down here and I like hit this enter button, you will see that it becomes grayed out here. So the person would only see, hey everyone, I'm doing some digging on choosing between Dataverse, SharePoint's data source platform, and then like that's it. It might not be enticing enough for them to click on it. So in terms of where I put a lot of my time, it's obviously making the graphic, but it's also coming in here and like, how do I make this hook actually work? So in here, if we go back to what we had here, I think this is pretty good, but I think I would want to invoke more emotion around this, or like get into the fact that there's a kind of war happening with it. So I would maybe do something like, we need, I see SharePoint getting a lot of flack. Am I even spelling flack right? From Dataverse developers, but they both have their place. Now, we're going to do a little contest. That's my opening sentence. Does anyone want to write a better, thank you all before I embarrass myself. Who wants to do a better hook than this? Anyone have any ideas? When two tribes go to war. I like that one. Let's do what Franco just said. When two tribes go to war. I see, that's awesome. I didn't talk about, okay. Anything else? The Big Showdown. Oh, that one's fun. The Big Showdown. Okay, one is all that you can score. That's cool. Oh man, that's interesting. That was fun. Okay, fine. You want me to do big caps here? All right, we'll do that. When free might be too expensive. That might be a fun one to put over here. But anyways, we want to move on. So I'm going to take this and be a higher performance relationship models. And it also put all of this stuff for me. Fine, I'll take those hashtags. Let's put this in here. And then put this down here, and then 80s child, nice, same. So we got this. I don't like this dot. I think that's ugly. So I'm gonna put that here, and then let's discuss. They don't have to discuss. They can discuss if they want to. I don't want to encourage that. I want them to just like either do it or not do it. So I think this is pretty cool. Let's go post it right now. So that took us like what, 10 minutes? Yeah, we're doing it live. So in here, we got this. This is pretty all right with me. Let's hop into here. We got this. I really appreciate the fact that you made this way nicer for us there, Howdang. So I'm going to save this right here. And then once the pop-up actually appears, there it is. Give me 1 second. All right, we got it saved. And then I'm going to come into here, and then I will add this as a photo. So we have it right there. And next, let me close out of this. Next, and is it here? It's there. Cool. There we go. We did that in like 15 minutes. Obviously, we did it all together, but here's the point of like, if you look at this, this really isn't that bad. Maybe not something I would maybe tweak this a little better, but we'll see what happens by the end of this session, what goes on with it. Cool. So how do we just do that? We just came into here. We obviously used Canva to do it. We used ChatGPT to like kind of help us out, like the text formatter. And mostly like I saw this guy, Jason Grad, he's a marketing consultant, so not really related to my industry, but he was doing this type of a chart. And I was like, that's a cool idea. Let's just go with it. And then afterwards, we want to talk about one more thing. By the way, Howden, we're at like 25 minutes, so we are zooming through all our content. So we're gonna have time to go have to improv by the end of this and answer questions.
Awesome.
So this will make it more fun. I think this is fascinating. This comment. Links in posts are fine. For so long, I saw everyone put like link in the comments. Go check out the link in the comments. I don't really see that as necessary. Howden, can you talk about this one and about like how you feel about links?
Yeah, I never quite got links in the comments. I felt I understood, but I don't think I did. So in this post specifically, yeah, I didn't put any links in the comments. I think I did put a link to my website because I was trying to get people to subscribe to my website. So there was a bit of a call to action within the post. But yeah, no links in the comments. Wasn't something I ever did.
Right. And it doesn't affect his count. It's like he's still getting like thousands of people interacting with his stuff. I started putting links in my post directly instead of wasting my time jumping in the comments, remembering to add it there. I haven't seen a single change, and I'm very grateful for it. Exactly what Craig said. Why are you putting me in a scavenger hunt? If I wanted to do Where's Waldo, I'd read the book. There's something else fascinating happening here in terms of not working. So check this out. This quality right here, you can't really see the details of what's going on in this cheat sheet. So I saw Howden doing a lot with cheat sheets. They're very popular. When I open this link, this isn't because of the resolution PowerPoint. This is what it looked like. Like, you can't actually read any of this. You would have to take his image and then download it. Or you would have to click the link in his post and then go to his website. And in the website, there was a downloadable link. But here's my point here. Howden created this PDF, created this image, put it in his blog, took the text he wrote in the blog, and put the exact same thing in the post. It's like, this experience right here, navigating to his website, isn't really that much more of a value add. And that's fine. I think that's a terrific way to like not overwork yourself. Is just like what you put in your blog, just dump your whole blog into the post. Like, it's fine. Like, Howden, do you want to add anything to that? Like, am I summarizing that right? Am I doing it justice?
Yeah, exactly. I think it's a case of, if you want to be consistent, you want to remove as much friction as there is between you and actually making a post. Like, we have priorities, we have families, I'm sure. So, like, you don't want to spend all day making your posts. So, yeah, if you've done the hard work in one place, just copy it in the other.
For sure, for sure. I thought that was brilliant. Now, here's the comment of when to post and does posting matter? So, this is going to be a little interactive activity. Here's what I would love a few of you to do right now with me. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to open up LinkedIn, and we want to do this very, very strategically. So I'm going to refresh LinkedIn right now. And I want you all to do this too, but please don't stay on LinkedIn. Please come back to the presentation. I want you to do this. Look at the first website you see, and then what I want you to do is, how meta is this right now, by the way? I want you to go in here, and I want you to note the time of the top 3 posts. So one of them I have now, so I'm going to put number 1, I'm going to put now. And then let's go to number 2. Let's scroll down here. This is an ad. I see likes this. This is 3 hours ago. So number 2 is 3 hours. And I hope you all do this with me. And then down here, I get one. This was commented on. So this is all recently commented on. And then this is from 1 day ago. So number 3 is 1 day ago. Please, thank you, Craig and Barclay, for doing it. Please put that in the chat right now. I want to see which one. Oh, I'm off camera. I want you to see which ones are your top 3 posts. How long ago are they from? I think that sentence makes sense. Okay, exactly the same. Fascinating. Okay, cool. 1 minute, 1 hour, 1 day. All right. This answers that very, very critical question of what time you should be posting. Howden, can you explain where this came from and how you've been using this?
Yeah, so I think it's a bit difficult because of different time zones and stuff, but I think in general, if you're only posting a few times a week, I'd say avoid weekends. I think people tend to read less on the weekends, and Fridays don't seem to work for me so much as well. So I'd say if you're posting your best content and you can only do it a few times a week, I'd prioritize Monday to Thursday. And I think if there was going to be one thing you take from that chart, it would be that. If you want to get really granular with it, you can look at like the specific heat maps where it gets really dark. But yeah, I'd say general rule of thumb, Monday to Thursday is probably the best place.
For sure. So as we just proved, it's not a guessing game when to post. All of you just put in the chat, everything you're seeing is from today. It's from the most recent. I've done this multiple times, and I've seen things like, let me see. Here, this was one time when I did it 8 minutes ago, 41 minutes ago, 4 hours ago, 9 hours ago. I refreshed the page, and then I got 1 week, 1 week, 1 week. I got later ones. So the max lateness that you will see, like the earliest posts you can possibly see, are from like up to a week. But the timing absolutely does matter. So what I'm doing is I go for about 8:30 a.m., 9 a.m. is when I schedule my posts. Yeah, and then Anna, Anna, can you expand on that one? That fact that are you getting it denied programmatically or denied in the sense that they're not interacting with it?
No, like yeah, because so like looking at that heat map, like what I've done, I always post it regularly on a Friday evening, like around 6-7 o'clock. And then like it's totally opposite to what I'm looking, and I still manage, my content, I still manage to build on that. So I think there might be some like exemption to the rule as well. So my what I'm saying is my experience is completely opposite to what I'm seeing on the screen now.
That's fascinating. You know what I'm curious? If you switch it and try to post at like Mondays, does it change your engagement at all?
Oh, okay. I will test the theory. I will test the theory. I will go for Wednesday afternoon. I will do a post on Friday, but I will schedule it for a Wednesday, and I will report back.
Awesome. So that could be another myth we bust. But from what we're seeing in the chat, I'm purely going on like obviously a successful post, they're just going to keep posting. So Anna posts incredibly good stuff. So no wonder that's circulated to everyone. However, if you're new and coming up, if you're seeing in the chat, do a comparison. See if like posting when you think people are on there makes a difference. Because according to this chat, what you all are seeing is the most recent hottest stuff. Looking at LinkedIn during work hours. Great question. I see so many chats, but we got to move on. Cool. So next thing is, that was me refreshing a couple times. There's some other strategies I've noticed that seem to really work for people is really nailing that hook we were talking about earlier. Like in this one, Agnius gets a lot of attention for his posts, and he opens with, please don't do these at home. Like, I don't even know what he's talking about yet. He hasn't even gone into like Dataverse, PowerPoint. I don't even know what it is. He says it on the next one, but barely. He's teasing here. This approach for a hook, fantastic. I love this one. Another one is just using really, really, really good photos. If you do something like that, like I loved Welland's post of this with him and his family, it did very well. Just the photo is absolutely terrific. So when I see people doing selfies, like buy a nicer camera, I guess is my advice there. I don't do selfies because my phone isn't really that nice. Another point here is in terms of text, I would say is less important than actually getting the image in there and having the image grab the most attention. Howdang, do you disagree or do you concur with that?
No, I'd agree with you. I'd say an image acts as like almost a second hook because it just takes up so much of the screen. So if your image is really nice and your text isn't so good, it will probably still stop someone from scrolling.
For sure, for sure. By the way, these slides that I'm showing you right now are the ones that Howden and I threw on here in case we had time to like talk about it. So if it's all right, Howden, do you want to pause and do a quick Q&A? Because we're just improvising at this point, which I'm fine to show you the rest of our stuff, but I wanted to see if anybody has any questions. Does anybody have any questions that they want to bring up or like concerns about LinkedIn or like any advice or anything in that before we just keep showing you some other things that we think are of value?
No, I just posted on a chat question around what is your opinion on posting, personal posts on LinkedIn? Like as much as I loved Buland photo and his family and everything, I just like I don't know, it would be my style to go and like start posting my personal stuff. Like I even feel a bit, I wasn't even sure if I want to like posts from attending like a Power Platform conference because it was like too many personal photos in it. So yeah, what is your opinion?
I love that question so much. I have a very opinionated answer on that. Howden, do you have an
Give me.
opinion? Do you want to say yours first before I go?
Give me.
Yeah. No, I think it's a great question as well, Anna. I think it depends on the level of personal. Like if it's like a conference, I'd say that's like kind of flirting with the line of personal and professional because you've gone to a conference, you've probably met people who are known in the community, even people who aren't, it's you've gone to a conference, people are interested in that. I'd say people every social media is different, right? And I feel like LinkedIn specifically, people value. They value tips, they value tricks, they value kind of how to do certain things in a certain way. So I'd say don't overdo it, but I'd say conferences is definitely something where I would be posting 100%.
Yeah,
think
I'll say my opinionated opinion here. I never did it. Like, I thought that was just, I don't want to share my personal life. It was like, I think I'm obnoxious enough. If you want to see my personality, just have a conversation. I'll show you who I am. And then I just tried it. And then, like, the post did really well. So then I was like, oh, man, now I actually have to drink the Kool-Aid and do this stuff. So personally, for me, personal stuff does work. I'm still a little lenient with it. I see people who like build a Legos thing, and if I know that person, I want to comment on it. I'm interested. Everyone on this call, I'm interested in your lives. So if you posted like you with your cat, I'd be curious about that. I will say professional advice is do it. I've talked to like marketing people, I've seen the YouTube videos. I know one guy who's known as like a reading expert on Instagram. He says that all his posts, when he's not teaching parents to like read or he's not trying to sell a product, when it's just like a picture of him with his kid cooking, those posts do the best. Like I see personal posts do well. I personally limit it because I don't want people to think of me as like, oh, he posts a lot about himself. Like I want them to associate me with more like technical knowledge. But I do it here and there, and I would suggest it. I guarantee you, if you do a personal one, I will bet money now that it will do very well.
I totally agree with that. Actually, it always makes me laugh when if you post a photo, just like one single photo that has nothing to do with anything else on LinkedIn, it does better than any other post for some reason.
Really stand out, can't it?
Yeah. I also think though, I think for someone like you, Sean, you're well known, there's people joining your course, it can humanize you a little bit, make you more approachable. The odd not I agree on the selfie points, but I think the odd little personal post might be quite nice to make you feel a bit more approachable.
For sure. I completely agree with that. Also, Mary Myers had an amazing session on LinkedIn expertise. She talked about how personal posts also work for exactly, Sarah, just echoing what you just said. It humanizes you and people want to connect with that. What do you think about LinkedIn articles versus posting links to your blog articles? I have my thought on that. Howden, do you have a particular thought on that one?
Yeah, that's a very good question. And it's funny actually, because when I started, I used to just do articles. So if you look at my LinkedIn, it's just articles in the beginning. The issue I found with articles is it was very hard to be consistent. So, I think each article, I had a series called Solution Sunday. It took me about 3 or 4 hours to just make one article. So it was hard to even post once a week. But I would say the time you put in those articles, you can probably get a lot of gold in terms of posts. So Sean showed us an article that he's been working on with Franco and posts that came from that before to validate if the article would be successful. So I'd say they definitely take longer. If it's your style, then I don't disagree with it. I think you should do whatever you can do consistently, but I think just keep in mind that it will probably take you longer. And if you're struggling to be consistent, maybe go to more shorter form content like Sean did with Power Pages, and if it does really well, turn that into an article where people will read, rather than investing a bunch of time in an article that no one reads, which I was getting a lot in the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that, and I would add, it depends on your goal. If you're just trying to be known, stick it on LinkedIn. If you're trying to take people's emails and then eventually do business with them, interact with them in some way, then go do your blog and send them over there. The advantage to LinkedIn is it's faster. Plus, LinkedIn does the SEO for you. If people search for the keywords, you will pop up. I see LinkedIn articles appearing all the time. And until you get to like a more well-known blog like Matt Devaney's or like Howdang's, it's going to take a little while before you appear in SEO. So it's more of a long-term strategy. And is your goal business or is your goal just to be well-known? So that is, yeah. Anything else before any views on text content versus picture content versus video content? So Rebecca, here, I see picture content killing it. I see a lot of people saying video is the new thing, that that LinkedIn is moving to this whole Instagram Reels model. I don't see that at all in my posts. I put a ton of time into my videos. I don't see them do any better than my picture posts. In fact, I would say my picture posts do a little better. I would say it's more of a personal preference here and what your goals are with it, which I can expand on. But Howdang, did you have an opinion there, or anyone else on this chat thread?
Yeah, I mean, personally, I think right now, if we were thinking of like a hierarchy, I think picture posts do the best on LinkedIn now. I think short videos are just completely taking over YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, like those social medias. It's taken over. If we're gonna like take those as an example, then the truth is it could happen for LinkedIn. I just don't see it now. But yeah, I'd say shorter form content in terms of videos work better on those platforms. I think image content works better on LinkedIn, at least for now.
For sure. I would also add it depends on your end game goal. Remember, everything you make on LinkedIn, all the time you spend on that, it'll be hot one week and it's dead the next week, and there's no residuals. There's no benefit to it. If you make like a blog post, like somebody mentioned earlier, that lives on forever. If you make a video, that lives on forever. So making cool little videos on LinkedIn, if that's going to be part of a bigger video, like that can bring benefit there. But if your goal is purely clicks, reactions, like growth, then I'm saying that pictures does better for me. Carousels, I see that question from Peter. Carousels solve the main thing LinkedIn wants you to solve. It's called dwell time. I'll put that in the chat. So DWELL. They want people to stop their jobs, stop their life, stay on LinkedIn. That's their goal. And then obviously show them more ads. So carousels are terrific because they make somebody click through a lot of it and increases dwell time. The only risk with doing them is you got to have a really good carousel. Like you got to convince them to click on the next page of the carousel. I've noticed personally when I've experimented with them, I haven't seen carousels do better than just an image post. And since image posts are faster, I've just been doing that. I'm still experimenting with them, but I don't see carousels as doing, they're more work, and I don't see them as giving me any more rewards personally. Anna, I know you're big in carousels, and then Howdang, I don't know if you've been doing a lot of those.
Yeah, I'll let Anna take this because I think she's very, very good at carousel posts.
She is, but she's had to drop. She's
Oh no,
duty,
okay.
sorry.
No
All right,
problem.
well,
I'll give my opinion then.
Nathan, I think is Nathan still here? He also.
Nathan's also really good at them.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
Nathan, what's up, man? What do you think?
Hey, sorry, I've got my camera off. I just got off the bike before this thing. Yeah, I found that carousels, firstly, I like them, you know, like I don't have the time to read blogs. I don't have the time to watch the video, whereas I can just flick through the carousel and quickly get the idea. And so I was like, okay, I like them, so I'm going to do it. And I've found that I get the highest engagement on those. The biggest challenge is how do you take a complex idea that might be paragraphs and paragraphs in a blog and make it 3 words on a slide? And that's the big challenge, but it's also kind of fun. And once you've got a template together, you can bang them out really quickly. So yeah, so that's been my experience.
Nice. And yeah, I'd say Nathan is the king of carousels and Power Platform alongside Anna Black. They make great stuff with that. I haven't really cracked the code. I see Craig made a comment that he sees them as really popular. I'm gonna ask you, Craig, right here. Please share some links of LinkedIn people who are good at it. I would love to like ethically steal their ideas, see how they're formatting them, see what words they're using and such. Nathan hit a point that drove me insane with LinkedIn, which is I want to make really quality, informative, dense, deep, understandable stuff. And I feel like LinkedIn is not the place for that. What I've noticed is it has to be bite-sized, it has to be fast. And I've had to honestly shift my strategy where I still do my long-form videos and I still do like long-form blogs, but like all my posts, like I've just noticed that like the less useful I feel like my posts are and more about just like touching on a topic and giving them like a taste, do way better than me ever actually trying to like educate someone in anything. I don't know, Howden, if that's your experience or other people's. It's just here, it's just like quantity does like quality and depth does not matter as much as like entertainment and like a talking point, like a starting of a discussion.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. And I used to hate short form content because I thought it was sucking everyone's attention. So I used to like condemn anyone that would use short form content, and my girlfriend told me to stop. But I was like trying to learn how to do something. I was trying to unclog my bath, and I was like, oh, I don't want to watch like a 10-minute video on how to do this. Like, we don't have time for that. So you go on TikTok or you go on YouTube Shorts and you watch a 30-second video that shows you how to do it. And something I learned from that is I think more and more often nowadays people don't want to read lengthy blog posts or watch lengthy videos unless it's actually a problem that they're actively trying to solve. And even then, if they can get it from a shorter form of content, they will. So yeah, they will always value the amount of value you can give them in the shortest amount of time.
For sure. We are at the 47-minute mark, Sarah and Keith. We can keep showing stuff, or we weren't sure, like, should we be wrapping up now?
I mean, if you've got more to show, I mean, it's very welcome. So keep going. If anyone does need to drop off, we totally understand, but we will be uploading a recording of this session on YouTube. So if there's anything you do miss, you've got to jump early. You're going to be able to play catch up at some point anyway. So if that's all right with you, Sarah, I'm happy if you guys want to carry on for a bit.
I'm good. I have to ask, Sean, how did your video for Canadian Summit perform?
That's a great question. That one I thought wouldn't do well because it's super specific. It's like, okay, I can attend this event or I can't attend this event. This event isn't even in my continent. Why is anyone going to care? I will get the analytics right now on that and find out. It did all right for like one of my favorite videos. It got 74 reactions, 20 comments. So
I was on a train
yeah, it did
watching
pretty well.
And my headphones weren't working, and I was like, all right, I'll watch this on the quiet. And I sat there giggling like to myself. And you can't explain it, can you? All sorts of goose,
Yeah.
moose.
That's I guess I can share that technique. So I don't know if any of you watched my videos, but what I do at the end of them is I put something really obnoxious. Like I talk about something that's unrelated. Like I just try to like either make someone laugh or talk about like my life or something. And I do that because it's just fun. But B, it's to see who's actually watching to the end of my videos. So like when people like you can't not comment on it because it's something obnoxious. So then I'm like, okay, these people care, these people don't. What can I like work with? So there's some strategy to it. Thanks for calling that out, Sarah.
And if they do enjoy it, are they chuffed with it, Sean? Would you say?
They are quite chuffed, which for anyone who doesn't know what that word means, because I learned it like 3 months ago, is excited. All right. I guess the last thing I'll say is I'll put this here and we can kind of wrap up. Is one thing is a lot of people talk about comments and like trying to get people to repost. I don't see that as like it matters. I see a lot of people get a lot of comments. Like in terms of reaction count for comments, like it doesn't. I don't see it play a difference. I see Howdang getting thousands of reactions and like 10 comments. I see things like someone getting 30 reactions, 24 comments. My point is, I think comments mean very, very little. Like, it does not at all mean that LinkedIn is going to keep showing your stuff. So I wouldn't worry about asking people to comment, reply, post. Like, you can if you want a conversation, but it's not, I don't see that as bringing any benefit in any of the data that I've seen. Howdang, anything else we should say before we wrap up for the day?
There's something I always like to say, and it's I feel like the first hurdle I had to get over when I started making content, which was predominantly around putting yourself out there. Like I hate it, but I do it every day, and I feel like I'm better for it. So I think everyone has a unique story to share. Everyone wants to hear your stuff, just not at the beginning. So I feel like a lot of people just give up. But yeah, I think consistency is the name of the game with all of this. I think if you take one thing from it, copy people's stuff and try and do it every day. But yeah, you can use the stuff in between as well. Hopefully that will help.
Yeah. And if I can share any words of advice that have helped me a lot, and I'm not being sarcastic here, it's nobody really cares about your posts. They're either good or they're not. And then the next day you get another chance. Like I overthought it for way too long. And then now I just go. Like they're gonna like it or they're not gonna like it. It doesn't matter. Don't overthink it.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. There's clearly a lot of research gone into all of that. So it's a really clever conversation. I'm just looking, is it just me or is Sean frozen just before we want to take a little photo?
I think it's good for me.
Sean.
Am I moving? I think I'm moving.
Yeah,
Is
it's good for me.
it just me?
I think it's just you, Sarah.
That's
No,
okay.
it's frozen for me too.
Oh, okay, maybe it's not just Sarah.
Is he messing with us or is he frozen? No, he's. Oh, there we go. You're back.
Can you guys see my arm moving? It's moving right now.
No,
I
I can see you just doing this.
Yeah, I'm not actually I was messing with you. Now I'm moving my arm.
Fantastic. Any questions? Any more for any more? Great. Well, Sean, Howdang, that was an absolutely brilliant session. Thank you so much. Yeah, really appreciate all that useful info and getting everyone involved as well. There's a lot of great stuff I learned from everyone there. So thanks so much. Sarah, anything more? Otherwise, I think we can get ready for a quick group photo.
No, I think that's it. That's great. I've really enjoyed tonight. It's flown by as well. So yeah, I know Anya's had to go, but brilliant session as always from her. And then yeah, Sean and Howdang. And Howdang, your first time speaking.
Yes, my first time speaking. I did want to say a big thank you for everyone that came here. For my first time speaking. I will be speaking next week in person in Bristol, which I'm even more nervous for. But yeah, huge thank you to Sharon for helping me out with that. Thank you, Craig. Appreciate it.
I couldn't believe it when I heard that. And yeah, you would never know either. Brilliant.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
We're honoured.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, wouldn't have thought it as well. Great session, guys. Really good.